Hey, hello everybody. We're approaching the end of April and still trying to get in here. I got an inspection today and we failed a few things, and they were things I didn't know or I would have done it. I guess you're supposed to have an insulated copper wire run along your septic pipe so that if they ever want to try to detect this with, like, with the whatever you call that, like a metal detector, so they know where your pipe is. If anybody ever comes in later and they need to know where your pipes are. The other thing is, let's see, what's the other stuff that we need? So on the back deck, Roger and I only use deck screws. And we thought there might be a possibility. He said he thinks there's a possibility they're going to ask us to put bolts in there. It's super strong, but the inspector said he would like to see some lag screws or bolts or something in there. So I'm just going to go get something that's nice and long and looks like a bolt and put it through. That'll probably make him happy. He checked out our wood stove. He was satisfied with that. Interesting that he actually asked me questions about it. He did measure. He knew what the clearances were supposed to be around it, it seemed like, but he didn't really know the rules on anything else. So we went over it in the book. I showed him what it said in the book, and he was good with that. And so the other thing is, let's see, we were supposed to have, this was an iffy thing to think about. He said, you're supposed to have 26-inch doors, and I think these are 24-inch doors. I think these are 22 or something, this one. But that's for all doors interior. However, it only applies if it's a habitable space. And he said a toilet's not a habitable space. So we got lucky there. So the other thing is, this is really sad when you get these things and they say, no, you're not approved. I don't like that. So our water lines are all approved. And our mechanical's all approved. The electrical was not approved because I guess my plumber or the electrician, I don't know, there just wasn't communication that the water heater needed to be hooked up, so that didn't get hooked up. And there was another questionable thing about inside the master bath, which is where the tub is. That's what we're calling the master bath, I guess. There's supposed to be an outlet near the vanity. However, we wanted that in the beginning, and we were told that doesn't pass code. That we're highly unlikely to even be able to have the vanity there, let alone have the outlet. So the vanity did pass it. They let us have it there, but you're not supposed to have an outlet within like 18 inches, and there's some other weird stuff. So I got my electrician on the phone with the inspector, and they agreed that the inspector, he was all of a sudden questioning himself because he's like, oh, wait a second, that does make sense. I'm not sure about that. So he's going to go back and go through the books and see what's legal and what's not, or what's supposed to be done. So that's something we wanted done in the beginning, and they told us no. So I don't know. So, and then that, let's see, water lines are all good. Sewer line just needs that copper wire. What ends up being the big deal is they say we need gutters. And I was planning on doing gutters, but that was not a priority to me. It had no relevance to the house as far as I'm concerned. But I guess there is a code that says water has to be diverted 5 feet away from your foundation. Now, they had told us a long time ago about the rule that over 10 feet, the land has to drop 6 inches. He didn't say anything about that, and I did grade it and try to make it so that was good. But I was not told, and I had no idea I have to have gutters. So that's the big thing. Now I got to put gutters on the house, run them down and then you got to run them down the side of the house, obviously, and then you have to have like a sweep, something that goes out at least 5 feet that's diverting the water from the house. And it's raining now for the next 4 or 5 days. Lightly, I guess today was 75% chance or something like that. And it's coming down. I mean, but it's more of a drip than a full-on rain. But even something like this, mist, heavy sprinkle, that prohibits me from getting up here and putting gutters. I'm not going to get up here in the rain and in the mud. So that's basically delaying me another week, I would say, at least, because I can go buy this stuff, and then on a day that it doesn't seem muddy and it's not raining, if the weather guy's wrong, then I can try to put it up. But we're just not going to be able to get in the house till that stuff's done. We won't get final, they call it certificate of occupancy or permit of occupancy. But he did pass us enough that he said he'll call the electric company and they can come hook us up to power. So that would be pretty cool, because then we'll actually have running water. We can do our laundry here. We got toilets, shower. We could actually break the rules and go ahead and move in if we wanted, probably. So my plan today, whether we had the inspection or not, it was already on my plan, is that I'm going to be building a bed. We did get one mattress in yesterday. I ordered 2 mattresses and 2 pillows, and they weren't supposed to be in until Wednesday, which is tomorrow. But somehow one mattress got here yesterday, and nothing else has been delivered yet. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue building this. Or I would have, if the weather was decent, I would have went and tried to get gutters and get that up. But I can't. So I'm working on the bed, and we'll just keep plugging along. Yeah, I'll show you guys how the bed turns out. Maybe show you a little bit of doing it too. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. This is the one mattress that I brought in. So Valentina and I, we've always preferred to have 2 twin mattresses butted up against each other, which is kind of like a king. But whenever we used to move a lot, so we end up getting PTSD because moving a queen or a king is so heavy. But if you have 2 twins, they're super easy to move. So it's still going to be framed like a king bed, sort of, but 2 mattresses. And anytime we need to, we can get twin size sheets if we want, or we can get king. It becomes more flexible. So we were going to put twin size beds out here too as seats, but that's kind of changed. I think we're going to do a little customization with some foam and make them a little bit different. We'll see how that turns out. All right, I'm going to get back to work, but I just want to check in. Hadn't recorded for a while. Thought it'd be good to... Valentina is starting to get her herbs up here and teas and all this stuff. This was the idea the whole time. So we're going to do 32 ounces. We didn't think 64 ounces would have fit, but they do. So the 32 ounces, 64 ounces, we'll intermingle them. Over time, if we want to do all 64 ounces, we can, because we could start canning. We do plan on canning in the future. We could can in these 32 ounces if we wanted. Just after 2. And I've run out of wood because I changed my mind since I bought wood, how exactly I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a highlight of a different wood on the end. But I pretty much finished how I wanted to do it. We'll have slide-ins underneath here. I think I'm going to be putting cedar down here at the end, so none of it's tied together yet. I thought it'd be fun to undo this mattress for you guys. I'm wondering if this is going to go kind of like the insulation did. I have to be super careful. Oh, there we go. I can hear it. So Valentina and I, we were going to just get basic, even though we wanted nice mattresses, we were going to get basic. Oh yeah. But I found a pretty good deal on this organic mattress. It's called a Wara. And I don't know if it's a sale they run all the time or what, but it was a pretty good deal. A little over $500 or mid-500s. It was on sale. Usually it's 800 and something, I think. Yeah, I was going to do this now. I think I'm going to just leave that plastic on there to protect it for a bit till it's moved in. Anyway, this has... it's natural and organic latex, has a forever warranty, New Zealand wool fiber, and VOC-free materials. It's like the lowest end probably organic mattress you can get. I like the way it fits though, that worked out good. And I was afraid it wasn't going to reach the middle, but it seems to be reaching the middle. I think it's going to probably expand overnight a little bit more, hopefully. And these are somewhat firm. I'm a person who likes firm mattress. I don't like soft. I don't like memory foam. I don't like any of that. I'm a stomach and back sleeper and a tosser and a turner. So I like this. Valentina is a side sleeper, but it says it works for everyone, so hopefully it will. What I'm seeing is the way that I did this, it seems like this is landing right at the edge of this and is going to fall through. So I do have an extra one. I'm glad I actually didn't use it then. I have this extra one. We'll wait to see how this goes. Anyway, this one came on Monday and was supposed to come on Wednesday, and then all the rest of it came today, which is Tuesday, so it all got here early, but came at separate days. What I'm seeing is maybe I'll be moving this one over here and then put that other one here if these are landing right smack dab in the middle. And I'm gonna see what happens by tomorrow, because I think this will expand some more. So we'll see. Pretty happy with the way most of it turned out. I have made a couple little mistakes that I wished I wouldn't have done, but it is what it is. It's all homemade and custom made. Yesterday, I told you guys we failed a few things, and the biggest overwhelming thing was gutters. So I went to Home Depot yesterday and kind of researched it and was looking at them and watched a video about how to put gutters on, and I was a bit overwhelmed, and I didn't really do a price. I have no idea if I would have done it myself how much it would have cost, and put it all together, and how much time it would have taken and all that stuff. Got home last night, talked to Valia and told her situation, and she's like, you know what, you're not fond of heights, and she doesn't like me out here up on ladders by myself trying to do stuff anyway. She's like, just try to find somebody to do it. And I really hated to try to pay somebody, and we've spent so much money, and it seems like something that wouldn't be too complicated, but I'm pooped out at the end of this run on this house. She's like, no, she insisted. She's like, do it. So I called a place this morning that advertised on their website they do gutters. And they said, well, we don't really do gutters. They're a roofing company. They're like, but we have a guy that we use to do gutters. I said, okay. So I took his number and I called him probably around 8:30 to 9, somewhere around there. And he's like, okay, I'll be over there at 11 to look at your job site. And I was like, wow, 11 that day already. Cool. So about 11:20 he showed up. Came in, looked around the house, and about 10 minutes after I told him kind of what we wanted in 10 minutes, gave me a price. It was less than $1,200. Just to be transparent, let you know what a 640 square foot house to run gutters. I paid him $1,200 because I thought it was worth it, and little tip, and I don't know if that's typical or what people do or how much they tip if they do tip, but I just rounded it up, $1,200, gave it to him. I didn't have the money out here, though. I asked him, I was like, okay, do you need to be paid first? He's like, well, it'd be helpful or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't. He was a Spanish-speaking person, hard worker. They did a good job. But we couldn't communicate so hot. I thought he needed the money right away. So I was like, or before the job. So I said, well, when do you think you guys can put the gutters on? And he's like, today at 1. That surprised me. I called you at about 8:30 to 9. You were here by just after 11, and now you're telling me after 1 you're going to do it. And now what time is it? It's 5:30, and about an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, they finished. Now, granted, I know I got a small house. It's not a whopping job for people who know what they're doing. When I saw these guys pull this out of their van, I don't know how they do this, but they can make one continuous, I think there's a machine in the back of their truck or something. They're able to make one continuous piece. I'm really happy with the color. I chose a different color in the beginning because I thought it was matte instead of gloss, but it didn't seem like a good color. It was like an off-white. I didn't really care for it. But I chose it because I thought it was going to turn out white and it would be matte. And then as I was driving home to go get money, I got to thinking about it. I was like, I want it white because it looked better. I felt it matched our color better. And I think that was a good choice on my part. So I called him and I said, yeah, change it, please. And he said, okay. So we have gutters, guys. That was like the biggest hurdle that we failed on the inspection. I didn't know that it was something we had to have done. That's done. I bought the lag screws that I need to put into the back deck. That ought to take me an hour or so. I have wire actually underneath the house that has a copper line in it that the electrician told me I can put on here. So I can just strip it out of the wire that I have. That was something we needed to do. And then he's going to come tomorrow, the electrician, and connect my water heater, which was something we didn't have done. I don't know how that just got missed. And the last thing I think was like termites or something control, and they're not accepting us to do it holistically. We wanted to do citrus oils or a couple of different oils that we'd seen. They won't let us do it. You have to do bait traps or something. So we're going to do what they want, except for in the long run, we're probably not, because we don't want chemicals and stuff all around our house. So anyway, that's where we're at on that. All right, guys, I am by no means, I'm not great at, probably Valentina will hate me for saying this because I'm kind of hard on myself, but I'm a DIY beginner guy. I don't know what I'm doing. I just throw stuff together. I don't know. I made this will be Valentina's bedside table. Mine's a lot smaller because I'm smashed up in the corner. But I made those out of cedar. They didn't turn out great, partially because the planks, the widest ones I could get were 8 inches. They had 12-inch ones at Home Depot, but they look like butcher block, and I didn't trust something that thin and that soft that over time held together by glue and whatever. I didn't know if it'd hold up for a long haul. Next size up or down was 8 inches. So I had to kind of adjust my drawings or my idea how I wanted to do things. And so I had to plank things together. And the planks are also bowed. And it would have been good if I would have known I was doing this a long time ago. And if I had space, I could have put the wood in here and let it climatize to the area in the house, and maybe even put some weight on them and spread them out a little bit. But I didn't, and it is what it is. So I put them together with some deck screws and some glue, and they feel really strong. So that's the lights we got for our bedside tables. They match all the rattans that we got, rattan style that we got in here. We got rattan in here, we got rattan there, we got rattan everywhere. We like that style right now. So, we never knew we were going to be doing black highlights, but we have black highlights on everything. So then I took cedar planks and I finished off the end here of the bed too, just to give it a little pizzazz, make it look like something. And then these are our mattresses. I guess I made this slightly too big, but I think this bed is going to expand more tonight because this one did, and now it's reached here. Pretty close. It's good, but it's not super tight. We've got a little play. And as you guys know, I made this so it has compartments so we can slide stuff under if we want. Valentina's probably going to find some kind of basket things that are very thin so we can slide them under. When you got a small space, a small house, you try to think about all kinds of different storage ideas. So, just like even this. Just a place to put doodads or whatever. We're thinking for our grandson, he can put his toys here at the bottom and he'll be able to reach them when he comes over. And anyway, that's done. It's been a long day. not bad, but get frustrated sometimes trying to figure things out. And then working with inferior, when you're not good or really know what you're doing anyway, then you're working with warped wood and not all the tools or environment that would be best for a cabinet maker or whatever, or carpenter. But anyway, I think Valentina likes it by the pictures, so that's good enough. That's the person that's going to be the one that needs to impress. So, and she's really happy with it. And I said, well, wait till you come look at it in person. But anyway, yeah, so that's the end of the day. Wrapping it up. I'm going to go ahead and head home. I think it's almost 6. Be 6 by the time I get out of here, just about. So I was not expecting to come here and then have to drive home and get money and then go back, but I'm sure glad that's how it worked out. And I'm so happy and relieved that my gutters are done. And if the electrician comes out here and is able to do what he needs to do tomorrow, I'm going to be able to probably finish the other parts that needed to be done, and I can call for an inspection again this week. And maybe we'll get that done. Passed. That'd be cool. All right, guys. I will see you the next time I'm out here.